Hey everyone, we're coming to you from a small mountain town high up in the Colorado Rockies. This is the Renewable Confidence Podcast, a show that helps you build confidence in yourself and in your business every day. My name is Jason Owens, and this episode is titled Run It Like a Business. Sit back, relax, because here we go. All right, so here I am doing coaching with several different clients, several different people, not only here recently, but then, of course, throughout the years. And I keep seeing a consistent theme come up here when people just kind of feel stuck with they're facing some kind of decision. Okay, what do I do? What do I do? I can go down this road or I can go down that road. What do I do, Jason? Well, my advice has been really kind of crystallizing on this one thing. Run it like a business. Run it like a business. What would a business owner do? Do you want to do X or do you want to do Y? Okay, you have choices. That's great. Sometimes these questions really boil down to, gosh, I have this short-term thing that I need to do to kind of make ends meet, or I have this short-term thing that I need to do for cash flow. All right, what should I do, Jason? Well, my response is run it like a business. Here is the single question that you can use that will help you really kind of cut through all the confusion, all of the uncertainty. And that question is this: does it make sense for the long-term health of my business? Whatever this thing is that you're going to do you want to expand? Do you want to go get a second location if you're a retail store? Do you want to do a joint venture with somebody? Do you want to start doing joint field work if you happen to be more in the outbound sales world? Does it make sense for the long-term health of your business? Okay, well, all right. I mean, whenever you start to take a lot of these choices, a lot of the opportunities that are coming your way, does it make sense for the long-term health of your business? Well, I've got this client that kind of needs some work done. Actually, it's not a client, it's a prospect that needs some work done. It's not really what I want to be doing, but it'll be good to kind of, it'll be yet one more thing to help me, just kind of make ends meet. Well, okay, think that through. Taking that client, does that make sense for the long-term health of your business? If you look back over 6 months and you see that you have been one off and another one off and another one off and another one off, it might not make sense for the long-term health of your business to take another one-off client that doesn't scale, that isn't 100% really what you do, but it's at least 60% of what you do. And yeah, taking this would be great, but wow, it's going to take up 3 to 4 weeks of time away from this other thing over here that I know I need to be building, the thing that's scalable, right? Does that make sense for you to take that short-term client when you know for the long-term health of your business, you need to be growing the system that you can scale, right? Well, it all of a sudden starts to cut a lot of the wheat from the chaff there. Really starts to make things clear when you start focusing on the long-term health of the business. So what I mean by long-term health here, you guys, the kinds of things that when I look at businesses that are out there, they're successful, they're making ends meet, they've got a little bit left over at the end of the month, they're growing year over year. When I look at those businesses, it's pretty easy to see that they have two things that are going with them. They have consistent behavior and they have consistent processes that they can run inside their business. Now, by behavior, hey, you might not like going to a network meeting, you might not like trying to do better with your copywriting. Okay. If you're doing email marketing, you may not like the idea of doing another mixer. You might not like the idea of working on your marketing calendar, but the businesses that win are the ones that do this consistently, right? Whatever that process happens to be for you, they do it consistent. They have consistent behavior. Well, okay. I don't know that I really enjoy going to a networking function, but I tell you what, when I look back over last year and I look back over even the last 6 months, I can trace some of the largest clients in my world back to going to networking functions. Okay, then, well, I guess you better continue going to networking functions, right? That is a consistent behavior. There's one business that I'm working with right now Their deal is on the first week of the month, I'm going to reach out to my people, and that's going to be through email. Every month, we're going to send out the thing, right? The newsletter, the outreach, the email, the whatever you call it. Every month, like clockwork, that thing goes out, and it provides consistent results. Now, is that some big, super huge technical process? No, not really. It's pretty much putting a date on the calendar, and that's your due date, right? So work backwards, okay? You might need to have a couple, 3 stories all lined up ahead of time, but it's that behavior and it's the process to be in place. Does the behavior take a whole lot to do? No, not really. I mean, in this case, it's a newsletter, and you might say, "Good night, Jason. Newsletters still work." Well, I tell you what, it certainly is working for this guy. No, no complaints there. I mean, I've seen the numbers, and I don't know that it's an in vogue or out of vogue thing to do. It doesn't matter whether or not it's the hip thing to do, right? It's not some massive social media outreach, right? It could be as something unsexy as putting a postcard drop in the mail, right? You go contact a company and say, "Look, I want this particular zip code, and I'm going to go ahead and throw $2,000 into that zip code. And holy cow, every time I do that, even though I don't like spending $2,000, I get the roofing job out of it. I get the siding job, I get the window job, right? I go out, every time I send that batch of postcards, I end up doing 15 quotes. Of my 15 quotes, I know I'm at least going to land 3 of those jobs. From 3 of those jobs, I know I'm at least going to make $8,000 on it, top line revenue, which means my bottom line profit from that is going to be X, and that more than covers everything that I need, plus covers my cost of sales for the ads, right? It's a machine. You don't have to like doing it. You just get to turn the crank and go do it. Now, why do I go back to consistent behavior? Because it is really easy to flake out if you, especially if you are a one-person shop and you've had a bad day. The last thing you're going to feel like doing is going to some networking event, especially if you're an introvert. Now, if you're an extrovert, networking event might be the thing to charge you up, and being around people is just going to make an awful day just the greatest thing in the world, right? So fine. But whatever the thing is that you dread doing, you got to do it. And especially for those of you who are soloists out there, 1-person, 2-person shops, it can be really easy to say, I don't want to be consistent on my behavior because I've got a really good excuse for it. Okay, it's a nice excuse, but does that make sense for the long-term health of your business? Does skipping this thing today, is that really going to hurt? You'll never know. Tonight could be the night, right? Tonight could be the night that you meet somebody that turns into a lifetime value $20,000 client, $30,000 client, $50,000 client, right? You really, truly don't know. And that's what I love about being self-employed is, honest to goodness, you really don't know what's going to happen on any given day. Your phone could ring, you get the email from someone who's like, "Hey, I've heard about you for a while, so-and-so told me to come over and talk to you." And that could be the conversation that completely makes your year. Every day when you get up, you could have that conversation, right? Pops onto your radar. So again, just going back to the businesses that I've seen over the long term who are making it and doing well and doing more than just surviving. These are people who have consistent behavior and consistent processes in the business. All right. So with that, everyone, I am going to leave you with great encouragement. Go out there, get it done today. You have so much more to offer this world, and we need you, and we can't wait for you to show up. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.